To my channel. My name is Choko. Today is Wednesday, the 8th of January 2025. Everyone's talking about who the next Prime Minister will be, now that Rowley is walking away from the job. However, today, let us change gears and talk about the failure of the mainstream press, primarily the Express, the Guardian, and Newsday. The citizens of this nation have been living under a constitution that has created a framework of corruption for so long that when someone like my dad comes along and writes a story about a fictitious judge whose wife bragged about her husband's corrupt shenanigans in an article called "The Judge's Wife," the entire judiciary rose in protest and hit him with a phony contempt of court charge, even though he was never in a courtroom. What court was my dad in contempt of? Was it all courts? Was he so powerful and feared by the Eric Williams government that they had to conduct a phony charge to shut him up? Even his attorney, Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj, considered one of the top lawyers then, could do nothing to convince the court that the story was not about any specific judge in any particular courtroom and that he should be found not guilty. Why was he even charged when the Constitution was there to protect journalists from this baseless attempt to control the press? Moreover, where was the protest by the other journalists? Not a note of protest was heard from them. Instead, they celebrated and rejoiced at his guilty verdict. Instead of rising en masse to protect the Fourth Estate, are you jealous much, fellow journalists? The term Fourth Estate, or Fourth Power, refers to the press and the news media in the explicit capacity beyond their reporting of news, of wielding influence in politics. The derivative of the term arises from the traditional European concept of the three estates of the realm: the clergy, the nobility, and the commoners. Any members of the press so dense that they do not understand the repercussions and the chilling effect that illegally jailing a member of the Fourth Estate would have on their profession? Or has their jealousy so clouded their judgment that the only thing that mattered to them was to show Choko that he was no better than they were, and he was not the great corruption buster that his readers thought him to be? So after he was released from prison, so something strange occurred. Much to the dismay of Eric Williams and all the prosecutors and the judges who found him guilty, became the most widely read and respected journalist in the land. Every issue so loud because everyone wanted to know what P&M corruption would be revealed in the next edition. Even the Prime Minister, Eric Williams, had the latest hot-off-the-press issue hand-delivered to him. Why? He was quaking in his boots in the fear that Choko would publish a story that he would need his lawyers to provide spin to cover up whatever Choko had unearthed. In other words, Choko knew more about what was happening with his precious party than he was. But most of all, Eric Williams never again made the mistake of sicking his judicial dogs against my dad. Moreover, the other journalists who snickered and laughed at Choko's incarceration bowed their collective heads and slunk back under the rocks from whence they came. So, until next time, so long for now.